This week on Outdoor Bound TV, we travel to the Rainy Lake region of Northwest Ontario to meet Minnesota native and Fargo, North Dakota resident Nicole Stone. It doesn't take long for you to figure out that Nicole has a passion for fishing all kinds of species and all over the U.S. and Canada. On this week's show, Nicole takes us to one of her favorite lakes in Canada for a little midsummer walleye fishing.
What a beautiful animal.
Unbelievable.
Another great hunt.
Oh, what a day.
Look at that. That is a bear.
That's a giant walleye.
Outdoor Bound TV is brought to you by Mission by Matthews and Vortex Optics.
Mission Crossbow sets a new standard in crossbow design with the all-new Sub 1. With over 26 revolutionary patents, including 80% let-off Sync-X cam system and CNC machined flight deck, the Sub 1 is the most accurate crossbow the world has ever seen. Featuring benchmark fire control, the Sub 1 is the first crossbow that allows you to safely decock with the push of a button. Unparalleled maneuverability, quality, and accuracy. The Sub 1 redefines the crossbow experience.
Northland Auto Center, the Midwest's premier dealer of Yeti fish houses, introduces the 2018 line of ultimate all-season trailers, built for summer fun, fall hunting, and winter ice fishing. The Yeti ranges in size from 16 to 21 feet, and you're sure to find the perfect layout to fit your family. With unique designs featuring a kitchen and bathroom, your opinion of a fish house will never be the same. See the pros at Northland Auto Center to create your own legend with Yeti.
Excellent. Oh, there's a good one. Awesome.
Beautiful fish.
Look at how he ate that
He
too.
ate that Google Eye jig.
This is the Google Eye. It's available in a live bait series and then a long hook shank series. And what we did is we took a glass rattle and built it into the middle of the round jig head, and just bouncing it, it hits the bottom, that glass rattle's rattling and it's sending off vibration in this dirty water in this river, and that's the result right there.
This one's coming home with me.
Hi everyone, welcome to Outdoor Bound TV. I'm Kurt Walbeck. You know, walleyes is a favorite species for many anglers across the US and Canada to chase. And on this week's show, we get a chance to meet a true diehard when it comes to walleye fishing. Whether it's rigging, jigging, or trolling, this young lady has a great handle on how to put fish in the boat. Let's travel to Northwest Ontario, where we get a chance to meet Minnesota native and walleye extraordinaire, Nicole Stone.
fishing for walleye in Northwest Ontario today. It's mid-July. A cold front went through last night, so we're going to be using more finesse strategies. We've got a bit of a wind on a good walleye chop, so it should be a good day of fishing. I'm trolling at about 2.5 to 3 miles an hour with a deeper diver crank, and we're going over 15 to 20 feet of water, and we're picking these fish off the break. And what I like about 2.5 to 3 is it seems to be clipping along enough to get that lure down there, but it's not overly aggressive. And one way I can judge that that lure is working is because I can still feel vibration. I'm not using planer boards, and I'm not even that far back off the boat. I'm literally just far enough to where it's out of the boat commotion, and then I'm just letting it roll. I just keep an eye on it, and that's a nice fish. Look at this gorgeous fish we just picked up, but we're gonna put him back in the water and go for another one. So if you're new to running crankbaits, there are really two big factors you need to know when you decide to pick your bait. And those two factors start with time of day and then depth. And a lot of times those two go together. In the middle of the day, the fish will be a bit deeper, and so you're going to want to run a deeper bait. And to determine the deeper bait, you're going to look at the bill on your crankbait. A lot of times they will tell you sizes, but if you have a mixture of them and they don't, the bigger bills mean a deeper bait. In addition, you also want to know the depth that you're finding fish at. No matter what time of day it is, if you're finding fish in the shallows, even if it's at noon, you're going to want to run a shallow crankbait. And a shallow crankbait is going to have a shorter lip, or it's going to have a divoted lip. And those will usually run less than 10 feet in depth, and they're meant to go over flats or just any shallow structure you find. So by figuring out the time of day, if you're in a moderately deep lake where you can find fish in the deep in the midday and then in the shallows in the evening as they chase the bait into the shallows, then you want to transition to a shallower bait. Today, we're running them in the mid part of the day, and we're finding fish right around 15 to 20 feet. And we're getting down there right where they're hanging out. And then another thing to think about is when you're trolling off of these drop-offs, fish. So I picked that one up, very interesting enough. I'm showing 66 feet and I've been showing in the 50s and 60s for some time, but my line is far enough back there that I'm just passing that break as I'm well into the 60-foot mark. So that's a huge break, and I just keep trolling through it until I'm certain that my line has passed that break. And it's definitely a drag, which is super nice because when I can feel that fish dragging, a lot of times it ends up being a walleye versus like a pesky pike. I think I hooked this guy sideways. Look at that, got another golden walleye. Here is another beautiful Northwestern Ontario walleye. We're gonna get him right back in the water and get back out there. So we're marking fish on down imaging in 2D at roughly 14 feet, and they're all grouped down there, so we're just gonna go with a straight vertical presentation. We're gonna use a jig and a minnow right off the back and hopefully pick up a few. So what I'm doing is I'm just hooking a minnow on a 1/4 ounce jig. These fish that I fished here previously tend to have more of a fine bite. So when you're using jigs, you just kind of want a very gentle presentation, and you're really just hoping they just leech onto that minnow. Not an aggressive jig. It's just very fine. You pretty much let them do the work for you. So the Google-eyed jig is actually just a jig, but it's got rattles in between the eyes. So that makes a sound, which is a vibration. And what's great about it is when you're in darker water or dirtier water, you can actually bring in fish from a little bit farther distance than you would with just a regular lead jig. Got him. A little snake. My favorite presentation for walleye is actually when I'm trolling and it's a crankbait. I have a hard time passing up on a crankbait because I get to cover a lot of ground, I get to try different speeds, and I almost always pull some sort of reaction bite, even on a day of tough fishing. A lot of times I found that the bigger fish I catch are actually using a crankbait versus some more traditional methods like jigging with just vertical jigging or dragging jigs or even using lindies. You really can pull off a big reaction bite with a crankbait. And you control at different speeds and you can cover so much ground, and then once you actually find a fish when you're trolling, you can then turn around and try some more finesse strategies to pull up numbers versus just one. That would be my go-to on a typical day of fishing, especially if my spots aren't working. I would take crankbaits across the shorelines, across flats. If it's in the evening, I would even take them across points and then see what I pull up, and when I pull up a fish, we can turn around and then hit that spot hard. I can see fish down there. I can literally see it on both the flasher unit and on the sonar side. And I can feel them. There, I got them. Caught him on a 1/4 ounce Google-eyed jig. A little bit of a rattle in there might help in this situation with the darker water. Get their attention from a little bit of a distance if we're not right on top of them. Caught it on a vertical presentation. Didn't have to do much, just a very, very gentle jig, and then I could feel him on there. That's a nice fish, and we're gonna go get another one.
Outdoor Bound TV is brought to you by Amsoil Synthetic Lubricants and Mountain Dew. Since 1957, Meyer Buildings has offered full design and project management for your farm, equestrian, commercial, and storage building needs. Our recreational building line specializes in the design and construction of affordable, remote area buildings for the outdoorsman.
Whether it's a hunting cabin, lake home, workshop, or commercial facility, Meyer Buildings will design and build a building that is uniquely tailored to your needs.
My name is Jeff Meyer from Meyer Recreational Buildings. Call us today for a better way to build.
Hi, I'm Jim McIntyre, Director of Maintenance here at Bowen Lodge.
And I'm Amy McIntyre, Director of Guest Services at Bowen Lodge. One of the things that we really like about working here is we love to fish. And Bill and Gail do make sure that all employees get the opportunity to fish as much as they can.
For more great fishing tips, log on to bowenlodge.com.
Duncan Creek Wood Creations is putting quality, handcrafted products from the North Woods of Wisconsin right at your fingertips. Offering a full line of custom wood furniture, bedroom sets, dining room tables, and cabinets. Available today. Simply go to our website to select any of our in-stock, handcrafted, custom-made bars, bar stools, cribbage boards, and end tables, shipped directly to your door in just days. Duncan Creek Wood Creations.
Hey everyone, welcome back. Now before we left you for the break, we were fishing for walleyes in Northwest Ontario with Minnesota native Nicole Stone. You know, one of the things I think that makes Nicole successful, she's not afraid to change up methods throughout the day to find active fish. Earlier, she was trolling crankbaits, and once she found a feeding pot of fish, she'd slow down her presentation using a jig and a minnow. Let's head back to Northwest Ontario and see how she's making out.
One of the reasons you guys want to fish a windy shoreline is because the bait fish gets blown in there with the wind and with the wave action, and so a lot of times walleye or any fish that you're searching for might actually be following the bait to that location. Fish down there. So what I'm doing is I'm using the jig to bring in fish from a distance, but I'm actually letting the minnow do the work, because when they're there, these fish are definitely more of a minnow bite than they are an aggression bite. So the jig is getting the fish closer, and then I'm very gently letting them pick that minnow and getting the hook as part of the process. So I can see these fish, they look like they're right at the bottom, right behind the boat. Right behind the, would be right underneath the transducer off the corner. There's fish down there right now. And it's something I like to do when I'm fishing is actually have down imaging and 2D sonar running simultaneously, because one helps tell structure and one helps tell fish a little better. And really the combination of both of them helps you identify schools of fish versus just objects and stuff like that. It gives you the overall picture of what's going on down there below you versus just making assumptions. I think there's some fish down there right at the bottom. And there, I got one. A nice Walter on the Google Eye jig. We're only in 9 feet of water. Look at that beautiful fish. This one's going in the live well, and we're going to see if we can get another one. When you're fishing, a lot of times the best way to catch fish is simply be flexible. So what that means is if your strategy isn't, just got hit over there. If one strategy isn't working, I might back it down just a little bit to try something else. We've been able to pick up one trolling, so then I'm going to keep trolling, I'm going to keep trying it, and if that doesn't work, I might try something else in an hour. I think being able to try different locations and different techniques is crucial to finding success on the water. In reference to speed, it really depends on trial and error, learning what works at what lake and what time of day, and that just takes trying different things. What I do recommend is that you always keep it fast enough that you can feel a vibration, because that makes sure that the bait is getting deep enough in the water column. And I also recommend just simply trying different speeds. I personally prefer 2.5 to 3 miles an hour on average, but if I can't get a bite, I might try to increase that speed slightly, or I might even try to back it down. So we've transitioned from jigging to towing crankbaits because it's been the middle of the day, and as the fish become more scattered this afternoon, a great way to cover ground is to actually use crankbaits. And it also pulls up more of a reaction strike if the bite's a little bit tougher. So that's really my go-to. When other methods are not producing well, I like to transition into more of a trolling method, and my favorite of that is running cranks at about 2.5 to 3 miles an hour. Go farther back. Got one on. We just went over a really nice school of fish. They are piling in here as this wind is starting to pick up. And I spotted them, and it wasn't much longer that I picked them up. So right when that line hit that break where they're piling in, I got a fish. Pull them up like this. So as the wind is picking up, we went over a whole school of them. They were just layered on top of each other, and just like that, we picked one of these guys up. Another beautiful Ontario walleye. So for gear, I have a spinning rod on a bait caster. I just kind of put something together that works, and I use that for a lot of my pike fishing or for my trolling as my second rod. And then we have a regular spinning reel and rod over here. In my opinion, when you're fishing, you simply just want to get fishing. Use what you have. There are ways around things, especially with trolling. I believe that you can make things work. Sensitivity isn't as big of a factor as it would be if you were vertical jigging. So it's a great way, if you don't have a huge budget, to just find some practical rods and reels you could buy anywhere, and then get out on the water and make it happen. As for action, I would typically pick a medium to medium heavy action rod. Longer the better, to make sure you're getting out on the sides. If you can, put planer boards on if you're worried about your motor interacting with your lure or pushing fish off to the sides. You can also invest in things like line counters. But at the end of the day, just being out on the water and getting your lines out there and trying to find fish is the best way you're going to become a better angler. Got one. I got a perch on the perch hyperglass. We are having fun chasing some smallies. Here you guys go. Look at this ginormous fish we just caught. We caught the fish actually on a very small drop-off. So what we're doing is we're taking a circle hook and these flat weights. Number 2 this morning. Check it out. Fishing on Devil's Lake, and you guys should check out all of the perch that we are catching. We're out on Red Lake. Plus side, it does keep me pretty warm. We are fishing Lake Winnipeg this weekend. My third fish over 25 today.
Outdoor Bound TV is brought to you by the W.C. Russell Moccasin Company and Brewpub Pizza.
What we chase cannot simply be caught. And what propels us takes far more than fuel. The distance we go is never measured in miles. And we find there's always more at the end of the line. Your moment is out there. Find it.
We handle your races, your jumps, and your trails. Isn't it time you give your daily driver the same love? AmSoil Signature Series Synthetic Motor Oil delivers 75% more engine protection against horsepower loss and wear than required by leading industry standards. And now, ordering AmSoil is even easier. Simply log on to qcamsoil.myamsoil.com and have quality AMSOIL products delivered right to your door.
Optimizer by HHA Sports.
The Optimizer Kingpin marks the third generation of archery's #1 selling single pin adjustable sight. On the range or in the field, start ruling your kingdom today with the Optimizer Kingpin. The Optimizer Speed Dial. Extend the range and accuracy of your crossbow to the yard accuracy with a single reticle. Simply range, dial, and shoot. All Optimizer sight systems are made in the USA and carry a 100% lifetime guarantee. Ask for Optimizer at a dealer near you.
Big Bear Down. Whether you're looking for a sweet recipe for bear bait or quality bear scents, we've got you covered. Big Bear Down offers all their bait selections by the bag, the barrel, or in bulk. From crushed sugar cones, trail mix, and granola to our syrups, frostings, and bait toppings, we've got the variety to keep the most cautious bears coming back again and again. Big Bear Down scents can be used as an attractant or cover scent and draws bears in from miles around. Look for Big Bear Down by our distributing at 2 convenient Wisconsin locations or at a retailer near you.
Outdoor Bound TV is brought to you by Rapala and HHA Sports.
I think you'll agree Nicole has a pretty good understanding of what it takes to put fish of all species in the boat. Now, if you'd like to follow along with Nicole's adventures, follow her Instagram page at Nicole Stone Outdoors. Now, her expertise is not just on open water. She's an ice fishing fanatic. So look for her on future episodes of Outdoor Bound TV as she ice fishes her way across the US and Canada. And we hope that you'll join us again here next week when we'll bring you more great hunting and fishing action from around the US, around Canada, and around the world, right here on Outdoor Bound TV.
Caught a rock. A rockfish. Like jigs and minnows. Ah, redo. Is that better? It's gonna be a good day. Redo? I can redo that and slow down. Can I talk and be like this on there? Good morning, everyone. Well, that's not right either. Well, I don't know. Should I say crankbait? This will be it. This will be the one. Slow down, Nicole.